What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. Let's get back to it. Back to work. So today's video is going to be in regards to the worst psychopath I ever met in all my years of doing time. Juvenile hall, group home, camp, California Youth Authority, and decades in the California Department of Corrections. One dude, one guy stood out to me the most as a complete psychopath. And he wasn't an inmate, he wasn't a ward, he wasn't a convict. He was staff in the California Youth Authority. Yep. I don't want to say his name. I don't want a lawsuit to happen because this dude's got to be embarrassed. I would doubt he's even fucking alive at this point, honestly. But I've actually done 2 videos where this psychopath was involved. I don't remember the name of both. I think one of them was called Hollywood Kid Gone Bad and Why or something like that. But I'm going to recap. 3 incidents with this guy that I witnessed. And I want to say before I start, and there was somebody there when I did the video, I think that was the first or maybe it was the second video I did on this guy. There was a staff member, a former staff member from Paso in CYA, the California Youth Authority, that got at me. And he knew who I was talking about. And I'm going to tell you right now, this guy, we're going to call him G. This staff member, G, when he was on Napomo, it was him and another YC. YCs are, so in the California Youth Authority, you had staff that dressed 2 ways. The YCs, they're supposedly youth counselors. They didn't counsel shit. They just got to wear regular clothing. Whatever they would wear on the streets in their daily life is what they could wear inside the institution. The other staff that were there were GSs, General Security, I think it stood for, and they dressed the same as those in the California Department of Corrections. They had the same uniform as guards in the state. California Youth Authority fell under the California Department of Corrections. They just had their own director. Instead of a warden, because all of the Ys were schools. They were all schools, so they had transcripts could be transferred and it wouldn't have the stigma of prison. So they were all schools. The wardens weren't called wardens. They were called superintendents. Like you have superintendents of school districts and shit, right? Now, I'm going to try to recap the first 2 videos before I get to the 3rd incident. So the first 2 incidents, I'm going to try to, it's hard for me to tell a short story. I know a lot of you guys say my stories are too short. To me, they're too long a lot of times. But I'm going to try not to have this be a 30-minute video. But here we go. So the first incident, G had informants in the dorm, Napomo. He had informants. And we pretty much figured out who 2 of them were. One, well, I'll say that 3, but we're gonna stick to the 2. A black one and a Mexican one from Southern California. And so we would do whatever we do at night. Dudes would do this thing called night crawling. So like in the middle of the night, you'd be on your bunk and you'd look over and see where the hoodah is. And when they turn their head for something, you roll right off your bunk and you crawl on your belly all the way to a different part of the dorm. And it might be to smoke a cigarette with somebody back there, your buddy. You know what I mean? You guys are back there bullshitting, and or he snuck, because you're not supposed to have food out at the night, but you guys might want to bust a spread and smoke a frown, smoke a joint, whatever it is, right? But you would night crawl over there, and you might have 3 or 4 dudes roll off and night crawl and whatever. They might night crawl to a cell and get down with somebody, whatever it was, man. And no lie, in the morning, G would come in and they would have, so they have a YC station. It was enclosed glass. Half of it was glass and with a door with a cage, where the window should be. And they would write on the on the glass with a grease pencil, whatever it was, like EPs, meaning evening program. If you're a fuck up, you're gonna get EPs. That means you can't go out. You got to sit on your dorm on your bunk in the dorm at night where everybody else gets programmed. So they have the EPs up there, who has EPs and different things written. G would come in and he would write shit like, Agent 007 informed me that so-and-so was night crawling last night. I'll take care of that. Agent 006 informed me that so-and-so got in a fight in cell last night. I'll deal with that. And it's like, what the fuck does he already know? Like, he just got here. I don't know what system him and his little rats in the dorm had, but they had a system down. And so one day, I guess G wasn't getting the information out of the Mexican little snitch that he had. And he was a little tiny dude, man. He's maybe 5 feet tall, skinny as fuck. He looked like a fucking mutant. Horrible looking dude, right? So in the mornings, so in YA, in the dorms, in Paso, and I think Nellis is the same way, they have these gates called the riot gates. At night, they lock you in. Day room recall, yard recall. Everybody goes down to their bunks, and they pull this big gate. Boom. Padlock it. Nobody's getting in or out of that dorm. That thing is padlocked. You can't go to the latrine. They got a little pisser that you have to, sit on the end of your bunk, snap your fingers for the cop to hit you with a flashlight, like, go ahead, one at a time. So in the mornings, you would hear them unlock the riot gate, and you would just see everybody jump up, boom, take off running down there. You're trying to get to that sink, hurry up and wash up, brush your teeth, whatever, get everything ready for your child movement, right? Well, this day, G comes in, and he makes an announcement. And so they would call the dress code. I never understood why we listened to them when we used to just beat up staff if we didn't like what they had to say. But they would call the dress code. Well, this day, G came in early as hell. Paso Robles in the wintertime gets freezing. In the summertime, it gets hot as hell, right? This was in the wintertime. And G comes to the little window in his office and he yells out, shirts and shorts. Dress code is shirts and shorts. Everybody got 5 fucking minutes. And he walks around, he unlocks, and we're like, 5 fucking minutes. Shirts and shorts. It's fucking winter. It's freezing outside. So everybody fucking wash it. But it's early as hell. So we know we ain't going to chow right now. Nah. Everybody washed up. And he says, take it to the yard. Nobody sits in the day room. Everybody out to the yard. Now we're like, oh, what the hell is this? So we go out there. I'm trying to get through. We all go out there. Next thing you know, G tells this certain inmate, hey, go get me the trash can. He's standing in the middle of the yard. The yards are small. Don't think it's like a prison yard. It's a small yard. He's basically almost in the middle of the basketball court. Everybody's all along the wall, the fence, the other fence, and the wall, watching this crazy ass dude. Everybody knows he's a psychopath, right? So that inmate that he asked to get him the trash can brings him the trash can. He's standing right there in the middle of the basketball court, basically, and then he goes, now go get me some ice. Fill up the ice bucket. The dude goes and fills up the ice bucket, dumps it in the trash can, and he tells him, keep bringing it till I tell you to stop. So he fills the trash can. Oh, hold on. He put trash liners in there too. Then he fills it up with ice. He tells that inmate, give me the water hose. Guy brings the water hose, tells him, turn it on. He sticks it in there. The water's on. He tells him, go get me more ice. He's dumping ice in there. The ice is melting lightweight while it's filling up with that water. Then he tells the dude, all right, go ahead. Then he calls the little Mexican informant. So-and-so. And we don't like him. The raza don't like him at all. Like, fuck that dude. He was a leva. He was no good. And so we're watching. And he walks up to that fucking YC, that cop, like it was his fucking dad. Like you see the love in his fucking eyes, right? And he looks up to him like, you know, hey, what's up? And I don't remember what G told him, but basically he put him out there like, hey, I haven't been getting what I want to get. I haven't been getting what I used to get. Now you got to pay for it. And in the blink of an eye, he snatches that little dude up by his feet and just shoves him into the trash can. Freezing cold outside, dumps him into ice cold water. This little dude can't get out. And he's like, has him by his ankles, and he's slamming him, like, and he's looking around at all of us. And we're like, damn, this motherfucker's crazy. Not one Mexican took a step forward to save that dude. Hey, you decided you want to work for him. There you go. There's your benefits. It was actually a Crip that ran over there and pulled him out by his feet. Saved him. So that was incident 1 with G. Incident 2 was a kid, a black guy, not a gang member, was not a Crip. It wasn't a Blood. It wasn't from the Bay Area. He was a good kid whose parents were Hollywood producers. He was, if you close your eyes and listen to him talk, you would swear you were hearing a white guy talk. Talented, funny as hell. He would have us all cracking up, right? And he had a bad charge. But when he was jammed on it, he explained it. He's like, I was the black kid. I was that black kid that was having sex with another, I don't know if it was a Hollywood director or his producer, but a bigwig in Hollywood, his daughter. He said the dad walked in on the black kid, you know, having sex. They were the same age. And the dad pressed charges. They turned into something. That was the blacks, and the blacks were like, nah, it's all good. You know, they believed it. And I think everybody pretty much did, because I mean, this dude had, I remember that chick, Lark Voorhees, remember her from Saved by the Bell? He had a lot of little starlets writing him. And so it was like, obviously he was popular with them chicks. But anyways, he wouldn't bow down to G. I guess G felt like because he wasn't a gang member that dude should have become a little informant for him or whatever. I don't know what G's trip was with him. But that kid was getting close to going home. And next thing you know, that same Crip that saved the Mexican informant before that prior, G calls him in front of everybody. He calls him and he says, hey, come here. I got that for you. At the time, they had took caffeine from us. G hands him a big jar of Folgers. And he goes, here you go, handle that. The dude got the Folgers, walked over, handed it to his homie, turned back around, walked straight over to that kid that was about to parole, the Hollywood producer's son, and fires on him. Bam! And just starts whooping his ass, right? He's fighting back. He's losing. He got cold-cocked for one. The dude was big that cold-cocked him. He got cold-cocked. He's trying to fight back. He's dazed like a motherfucker. And there's G laughing, walking towards him, laughing. And he's shaking his pepper spray. And I don't recall what he was saying, but he was talking shit. And then he told the Crip dude, that's enough. The Crip dude backed away. And G sprayed him in his mouth. And it was pretty obvious the way his mouth was, his jaw was broken. G sprayed him right in his mouth. That dude spit in G's face. You fucking punk. And G was not a little dude. G snatched him up, and with his pepper spray, the bottom of it now was just slamming it in that kid's face. Bam, bam. And again, we're just looking like, this motherfucker's crazy. He beat the fuck out of that dude. The cops are responding and he was still beating them down, right? That was number 2 with G. Number 3, there was an incident where the blacks were horseplaying with one of their own. And they were wrestling with them, and G was right there encouraging it. Hey, yeah, fuck him up, right? Pumping it up. And during the whole thing, there was a broom leaning against the wall by the ping pong. They had him up on the ping pong table on his back, and they were holding. And G says, hey, pull his pants and I'm gonna shove a broom up his ass. Now, and knowing how crazy G was, I don't think anybody believed it. I think we still at that point thought it was a joke, but the joke was on us. They ripped his pants down, holding him down, and G grabbed that broom and rammed it up that dude's ass. The whole fucking yard went quiet. The dudes that were holding him, that they thought it was a joke, you could see they were like, what the fuck just happened? G was never fired. G got away with all of those incidents. This is who we were around. This was the staff and the mindset of some of the staff. There was only one other officer that was as bad as him, another psychopath, and that's the other one where I said when they were on the Pomo together, the administration had to remove them. They put one on Cayucas, and G stayed in the Pomo. I knew of other staff that were just they were sadistic, but this was the environment that kids were being brought up in. So is it a wonder at all why these dudes were so brutal towards each other? At the same time, we were getting down with there were dudes that fought with G. Said his name, my bad. There were dudes that would fight with him. For some reason, he wouldn't fight me. I called him out, he wouldn't fight me. But he had got down with other dudes, and he was dirty. Smashed a dude's face into a window. Those windows that have the wires in them where you can't break them. Cracked the whole window on with that dude's face. For some reason, the administration loved having him there, knowing what he was doing, the abuse, the damage, and the trauma that he was causing. It was okay with them. That's why. So, like I said, juvenile hall, group home, camp, and decades in the California Department of Corrections. G, a staff member in the California Youth Authority, was the worst psychopath I had ever seen. And I've been around killers, people with multiple bodies, and G took the cake. Who knows what he's done in his life? Obviously, the things that we do know he did, they turned a blind eye to it, kept him employed, and he kept abusing people. That's my story for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, do me a favor, hit the likes. Let's get 1,500 likes on this video. Let's get back to trying to set goals on how many likes we get. Thank you guys so much for all the support. I appreciate it. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them. I'm out.